Let me bring you up to speed. 3 days ago, me and 2 friends hopped on a Yugoslavian 50cc moped, a Chinese 50cc moped, and a Yugoslavian car, and headed to Bulgaria. In this episode, things don't get any easier. We wake up in a strange place. Good morning. It's another day. Here we are in our beautiful accommodation. Explore more beauties of eastern Serbia. And not so beauties.
Those were rooms to rent, so each room has a small toilet. 1, 2, 3. Probably there was a kafana downstairs, restaurant, something like that.
And we find out we might have to ditch the mopeds. We promised to ride them across the border, but we literally do not have the paperwork. All of that and more in this episode. Remember to subscribe. Good morning. It's another day. Here we are in our beautiful accommodation. If I look tired, it's because I am.
It was okay last night. I slept well.
Peter and I slept in the same bed last night. The creakiest, loudest freaking bed ever. He actually, sometime in the middle of the night, probably 3 a.m., he was like, "Stop moving. You wake me up every time you move."
Yeah, but at one moment you just started to roll, and man, every time you roll, you wake me up. And I'm like, man, just stop rolling at this time.
Stop. We've come across a big problem, which is that we just registered the new bike and the Tomos. We just registered them, and we don't have the car IDs for them. We've been driving them, but we don't have the car IDs, and it's a weekend, and we need to be in Sofia on Sunday. So my plan is that we ride the bikes as close to the border as we can, and we leave them in some town. Our plan was to ride them all the way to Sofia, but it's not legally possible. This is a lot of the stuff that doesn't get shown on camera. Us just sitting, talking, deliberating, where we gonna go, how we gonna do it. Lots and lots of planning. This is not the first quorum we've had.
So it's 143 kilometers, my friend.
We can make it. We got the whole day.
But yeah, and then we sit in the Yugo and we can be, let's say, like this. We leave them at Pirot, let's say at 5, 6.
Yeah.
Then we sit in the Yugo, and with the Yugo we don't need more than an hour and a half to get to Sofia. Like tops.
Deal.
And we can sleep in Airbnb in
Should
Sofia.
Should we stay in Sofia, or should we go all the way to the guy?
I would advise us to stay in Sofia, and then early morning we go, and we're there at like 11.
All right.
Or man, we can go all the way as well, but I don't know about accommodation and shit like that.
We'll see. We'll have to talk to the guy.
Okay, cool. So let's go the long way, local roads, shit like that, and we go Soko Banja, Knjaževac, Pirot.
Deal.
Ura!
I parked the Tomos back behind the accommodation. Let's see if I can get it started on the first try. It's unlikely, but it's hot today, so. Nope. I finally got it started. It needs to be on solid ground. Because it's an automatic, that rear wheel needs to be off the ground the first time you start it up. If it doesn't spin freely, it won't start.
So we just parked our motorbikes and a Yugo in front of the police station. We were told you can't park there. Then I told him, hey man, we are going to the bakery, it's less than 5 minutes. He's like, oh, since we are following your videos, it's okay.
How are you? So we just bought enough food for 3 people and 2 yogurts, and it cost us the equivalent of about €3. So
this morning I was in this cafe, 2 coffees and 1 rakia. Cost us 320 dinars, which is less than €3. It's a sandwich with a type of ham.
Yeah, sandwich with ham. You know, when I first moved here, I didn't like yogurt with the bakery. I thought it was kind of weird. We don't do drinkable yogurt at all in America. It's really grown on me. I can't have pastries without it now.
Nema bez jogurta ništa.
I've eaten. I'm a new man. We've got 150 kilometers to travel today, which will be the furthest we've traveled in a day. I think we're gonna do all right, Petar?
But only on the bikes, and then we have another 100 to do with you.
Yes, the bikes and
Which
then
is
the Yugo.
doable.
Bug just hit me in the face. We just got passed by a bunch of bikers. It looks like they had camping supplies and stuff. They're probably doing something similar to us, except they were on much bigger and more powerful bikes. I'm not jealous at all. We were riding and we saw this on the side of the road. I've got to check it out. I mean, that's crazy. Really slow uphill. Look at this. I'm flooring it. Ah! Oh, it's nice and cool in here.
Those were rooms to rent, so each room has a small toilet. 1, 2, 3. Probably there was a kafana downstairs, restaurant, something like that.
Nice view of the road. It's blocked now by trees. Looks like there's another little abandoned shop completely overgrown there. A lot easier going down than up. Thirsty.
Jedni smo. I'm thirsty as well.
My butt hurts. You know what's interesting? We passed lots of these abandoned businesses and stuff out there in the middle of nowhere. It just makes you think, driving on something this slow, how times were so different back then, where I think we take for granted how far a kilometer really is.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like, it's like, this is in the middle of nowhere. Why would somebody want to stop here? It's like, because it's the middle of nowhere. Like, there's no place else.
And back in the day, you would drive a Yugo or a Fića. Yugo was high-end.
Yeah.
Gdje ste motoristi? Krenuli smo za Bugar. A nećemo
Gledam, bratim. Vladimir.
Petar,
My name is Vladimir.
Vladimir, nice to meet you.
Bugarska.
Idemo za Bugarsku.
Bravo.
Ali ne znam da li ćemo stići. Možda ih ostavimo u Pirotu pa nastavimo Jugom jer imamo posao u nedelju, mora stignemo.
This bike is a little faster than ours. Just a little. We're officially Serbian bikers now. We've been blessed by the Serbian bikers, so now we're one of them.
We were invited to Bor and Bor Lake. Bor is a mining town in eastern Serbia and they have a biker gathering. And by the way, there was a biker gathering in Aleksinac, which is south from Ražanj, where we slept last night as well. It was cold, we didn't want to drive, so we missed the rock concert.
I never know quite where I am on this trip, but everywhere we stop is different than the last in its own little way. I'll have to get used to it, I guess. Look at this little feature. It's adorable. I love it.
This is Turkish time.
Oh, wow, look at that.
That's a so-called hammam.
Hammam.
Hammam, yeah, it's like the room like this, where it's basically a Turkish bath. And this was built during the princedom of Serbia before it became a kingdom, because royalty was coming here to
Bathe.
bathe and to, you know, live healthy life.
Old school
It's a nice,
World War II memorial.
It's a nice rhyme. Besmrtno onaj živi kome se narod divi.
They have no mekike until the evening, but we're in a hurry today, so we can't wait. to Petar's despair.
I didn't have them for 15 plus years.
Thank you. I got something though. I guess it's on to the next town. The water is clean here, I'm told. We stopped in Knjaževac. We're gonna get some food and recover. That was brutal. That was the longest stretch of uphill we've had so far to get here. It was probably, I don't know how many kilometers, but it felt like forever. And then it was preceded by the most fun, kind of epic downhill section. I don't know how fast I got that Tomos going, but pretty freaking fast. I think one of my favorite parts about the YouTube series is that you guys get to see us upgrade over time. In this box is our YouTube editing rig, which is a really old laptop. It's all we had. So you guys are gonna see the video quality go up, the audio quality go up. Eventually we'll get a new laptop, maybe some GoPros. But right now we just have to keep moving. So here's our current solution. Look at this. Yeah. The editing laptop. This video will be coming to you on the ThinkPad. Oh yeah. I'm doubled up right now, uploading the last YouTube video and enjoying some pasta. Somebody else ordered this for me. I don't even know what's in it. I think chicken.
I'm positively surprised by this small town. The center looks like, you would even say Austria, you know, like this, since everything was demolished and rebuilt in the 19th century. But if you leave the center, it's proper socialism. I love it, love it. Knjaževac is cool, women are good looking, all checked. I like it.
It's a shame we can't stay longer.
Yeah, honestly, I would love to stay here tonight. No joke.
I forgot to address our money issue from the last video. Yesterday I left my credit card in the ATM, which had all of our money on it, but through wizardry of modern digital banking, I was able to shuffle some money around so we don't, starve. So we're trying to be careful with what we spend right now and how we spend it, but we're not gonna die, to say the least. Digital banking. Off we go. You know what I freaking did? I just went down a hill and I burst my eardrum, like for sure. It's extremely painful. It's like somebody is stabbing me in the ear. I did this once before, a year ago. We were diving in Hvar, and the pressure changes did the same thing. And it's one of the most horrible experiences ever. We stopped to see this 15th century church. You can see the top of it right over there, past this old Zastava big rig. We saw this monument, which we didn't expect to see, from back in the Yugoslav days.
Built in 1981, but it's not only for the communist or socialist fight. 1912, First Balkan War. 1913, Second Balkan War. 1914, First World War. And then you go on the other side, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's all First World War. And then only, 10 people died for the communist fight. Everybody else died in the previous war. I bought new Hokas, which are 2 weeks old.
They're brand new.
Brand new for 180 25 euros as a discount. Come here.
Look at these
So-
shoes.
There's a... You see, there's nothing sharp, right? Nothing sharp here. So I have to do this. Check my shoes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Hoka, 125 euros.
There's someone taking care of the ground.
This is a 15th century church, but it's quite unusual. I never saw something like this, which has two towers up front, which doesn't look Orthodox. But inside, yeah, absolutely is. And you see the Last Supper.
Yes.
And she says like this is the unique church because if we would go upstairs, there is the Saint Petka. Saint Petka is a kind of holy person. She was canonized. But over here she has bosoms. You can see her bosoms
Oh wow.
in the monastery. It's the only Saint Petka like that ever depicted.
Very interesting.
So let's see.
One thing I notice about the frescoes is that they've been completely defaced. Almost every face is missing. If I had any more cevapi, I would have fit. Wow. Quite a spot, huh? Oh, you can see the... Oh!
Saint Petka with her bosoms.
Yes, Saint Petka. People falling into a well up top. Maybe the commenters will know. People falling into a well, tiny little people.
I know that she was from a rich family and she did not want to follow the orders of her parents. She escaped to the monastery, became like the most devoted monk, or okay, what's the name for the female monk?
A nun?
Nun in the whole region.
I made it out alive. Really interesting piece of history here. That
I made it too. Peter is becoming a cameraman, I see.
uh-huh.
We might switch roles.
camera on or off?
You will not switch roles. It's nicer on the back than it is on the front. Pretty impressive for how old it is.
So Soko Banja is only town here who has a bit of tourism and so on. So everything else is being depopulated. So this village probably had, what, 300-400 people 20 years ago, 1,000, 100 years ago. And what we were told, in the Middle Ages, they had a school in the village and more than 1,000 people living here, man, in Middle Ages.
Yeah. It's all gone now. But it's amazing to see these kind of forgotten towns and villages. It's amazing. Forgotten and then rediscovered again and again since the 14th century. Off we go. That's beautiful. I'm impressed, thoroughly impressed. One thing that I think is interesting about European architecture is that the scars of poverty are here for hundreds of years, you know? You have an area which is beautiful and wealthy, and then it becomes not so beautiful and not so wealthy, and it just stays there. In the United States, everything's built from wood, so it all decays or is easy to tear down. In the US, basically, you know, poverty happens and whew, everything's wiped out within a year. But here, it stays forever. Look at this. He's making something to cut the wood from old military vehicle parts.
Yeah, this is a truck chassis.
Da, šasi od kamiona, sve od kamiona. To je od kamiona. To je od kamiona iz diferencijala.
From the differential from a truck.
Gume su od auta.
That's from Yugo, I think.
Ovo je,
Oh my gosh, it's a bandsaw. I see the blade now.
ovo je od Sava.
This is Tam.
Oh my gosh, he's got a whole machine shop in here.
Bukvalno za mašinistu unutra.
What? In the back? In the...
Ima tu svega.
Petler's back on the Tomos again. I was thinking about getting one of those instead. APN4 to replace our automatic. Dang, that thing sucks uphill. But you know, it helps you stop and smell the roses. This guy is freaking crazy. He could build his own army out of, I don't know, whatever he's got here. Off we go. We're in a woodshed in Pirot. This will be the resting place of the mopeds until we come back to retrieve them in a few days. We promised to ride them across the border, but we literally do not have the paperwork. We tried the begging and the wringing of hands, but we cannot get it to work.
Listen, we can get the paperwork, but on Monday. But we have a job to do on Sunday, which basically means it's gonna take. It's impossible.
It's impossible. It's literally impossible. However, they've both held up really well. We'll give you our final impressions here shortly. It's really disappointing to me that we didn't get to drive them all the way, but it is what it is. In the woodshed, they will remain. We're gonna go get some ice cream. I hear they have really nice ice cream here, and we'll give you guys a rundown of the plan.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Sure.
Thanks.
Of course, no problem. Every time I come to these villages or towns that basically aren't Belgrade, Zagreb, Sarajevo, any place that's not those hubs, I get recognized a lot. But when I go to big cities, I can blend in a little bit. Let's get some ice cream. I'm so tired and in pain everywhere. Ice cream will heal me. They're gonna show us how to make ice cream. In there, huh? Oh. I also ordered a traditional Balkan tulumba. These are my favorite. Oh. So, we have a long day ahead of us tomorrow as we enter Bulgaria. I've never been there before in my life, so it'll be the first time. Unfortunately, we had to leave the mopeds behind, but we'll cram 3 grown men into a Yugo and hope it doesn't break down. Follow to see that. Petar, do you have anything to add?
Cheers.
Cheers. Anything to tell the lovelies?
Živela Bugarska, brate.
Dobro. Subscribe and see what happens.